Guys, what's up? It's your girl, Goddess. Welcome or welcome back to my corner where I inspire others to dream more, live more, and become more. So today's video is going to be a specific topic that I have actually not done in a little bit, but I know that it is more of a popular topic that you guys have wanted to see a lot more of as of lately, and that is going to be how to pivot into project management slash program management slash Scrum. We are going to essentially be talking about how to get into the particular field of project or program management, specifically without any experience. So if you're interested in that type of content, then please make sure you keep on watching. So if you click on this video, you obviously are interested in some form of project management, program management, maybe product management. I do want to start this video off with a huge disclaimer that I feel like a lot of people do not know. Maybe it's the way that I worded some of my titles in the past or whatever, or maybe because people don't pay attention, because I have mentioned this more than once. But I am not a Scrum Master by trade, meaning that my job title currently is not Scrum Master. My formal job title at this moment is Program Manager, and then I also do some volunteer work as a project manager slash project coordinator. So if you are looking for content for someone who is a Scrum Master as their everyday job, then unfortunately I wouldn't be able to give you too much detail. I do have my certification in Scrum. I have my certified Scrum Master certification. So if you want more information about how to get certified, what courses to take, things like that, then I can definitely give you all the knowledge that I have. So I do want to make that disclaimer again, because I feel like I'm always having to address that. In the comments and stuff, people ask me things related to being a Scrum Master, and I'm like, I'm not a Scrum Master by trade. I'm a Scrum Master by certification. I have the certificate, and that is why I call myself a Scrum Master, but that's not my everyday job title. So another main thing and another one of my goals for this video is I really want to talk to the people who feel like they don't have a traditional project or program management background and they want to get into the area. I'm not going to call it a field, because project management is not a field. I actually learned that from someone some months ago. They brought it really into perspective that project management is not really a field. It's more so just the type of work, because you could be a project manager in the construction space, in the tech space, in the social work space, in the healthcare space. Pretty much wherever people manage projects, you can be a project manager or a program manager. All right, so you want to know exactly how to pivot into a project management position, a program management position in your current role. Maybe you're in accounting, maybe you're in business, maybe you're in social work like me, maybe you're a case manager, a healthcare worker, or something like that. And so with that, the first thing that I would say is to identify whether or not you are actually burned out. What is your why? What is the reason that you're trying to transition into a project management role or a program management role? Is it that you just feel burned out? Is it that you feel bored with your job? I know for me specifically, once I did more research on project management, I was already a project manager unofficially. Once I really did research on what project managers do, what some of their greatest passions are, what are some of their everyday tasks and duties, I realized okay, I literally do this in my everyday job and really in my everyday life. Try to identify your reason for wanting to go into project management. Is it because you genuinely feel like you've done research and you like how project managers work on a team? You like how, program managers manage programs, or they manage their clients or stakeholders or different things like that. Be able to identify your burnout, because what you don't want to do is get into a project management position and then you realize you still hate it. So you have to get to the core of okay, is project management something that I really want to do, or am I just exploring it because it just seems like the hot topic, because it seems like something that everybody is doing, because it seems like you make a lot of money in this field, so let me just go for it. Never go for a certain position because of the money. I'm gonna tell y'all that right now. But if you're going after a position or a job title just for the money, you are never going to be truly satisfied. You're never going to feel 100% fulfilled. Make sure that you've done your research and make sure that you have identified your why. And the more research you do, if you feel content, let me not say complacent, but if you feel content after doing research, oh yeah, I can definitely see myself doing this. And when I say research, I don't mean just going on YouTube and clicking on this video. I mean, after this video, go to Google and type in, what is a project manager? What is a program manager? manager? What skills do I have to have? You can also go to different websites to look up project manager roles and just read the description, read the qualifications, read the requirements, and see if that's something that you can see yourself doing every single day. First point that I wanted to make to you guys was to make sure that you identify your reasons for wanting to get into project management, and make sure that you identify your burnout so that you don't end up in another job position, still miserable and still burned out. So my number 2 point is to know your transferable skills and or also know your strengths. If you find that you are a person that you work at the very last minute, don't really care for working on teams, you know, you don't really like meetings, you don't really like checking in with people, if you feel like you're more of a person where you kind of like to do your own thing, like it's a one man, one woman, one person show, then project management really might not be the field for you, simply because of the fact that project managers are usually on the front line a lot of the time. Project managers are very like front, forward, and focused, if that makes sense. They're sort of almost like the brain that keeps things flowing. They're the people who make sure that things are still operating, making sure that things are flowing on time. They're checking in with like multiple people on a team to make sure things are flowing as they're supposed to flow. And as a program manager, specifically for me, I am also responsible for like managing a set number of people that I work with on a weekly basis. So checking in with them, making sure that they're meeting their deadlines, but then also accomplishing some project deliverables. Have I sent these emails this week? Have I filled out this spreadsheet? Have I updated this report? So it's really important that you know what your strengths are and also know what things you don't like. If you're a person where you like to kind of be by yourself, you don't really like to be bothered, you don't really care for team meetings, if you know that that's something that you don't truly like, chances are when you get into a project manager or program manager role, you're gonna hate it, okay? I'm not gonna say that you're in people's faces 24/7, but like for my job specifically, I am probably meeting with participants at least 50% of the time. Like I'm meeting with clients 50% of the time, and then the other 50% I'm doing back end stuff. That I have to be a person that is okay with being on Zoom every day, right? Like I have to be okay with being in meetings every day. You know, I'm okay with waking up, getting on the camera, talking to people on a regular basis. I can't really dodge that. So you have to know what your strengths are, and you have to also know what are your areas that you're not really willing to compromise on. Along with like your strengths, I think it's also important to know what your skill set is. If you're a person where, you know, you aren't really good with deadlines, like you like waiting to the very last minute to complete stuff, you're gonna be horrible as a project manager. I'm just saying, you're gonna be horrible as a program manager, because when it comes to managing projects, you have to be able to be organized, number one. You cannot wait till the last minute. And it's so crazy that I'm even saying this out loud, because when I was finishing up my master's program, I'm not gonna lie, y'all, a majority of my assignments, I finished them at the very last minute. First of all, I do not recommend that. It is so anxiety inducing. You're always on edge. But number two, it really can affect your performance. And we're talking about your bag, sis or bro. Like we're literally talking about your everyday job. So if you know that you're a person who like maybe you struggle to meet deadlines, maybe you struggle to meet tight deadlines, if you know that you produce your best work when you take your time, then you have to be able to identify that skill. If you're a person where you're not really self-motivated, or you're not really a person that's gonna take initiative to start off something, or take the initiative to start a project without somebody telling you to do it, then project management really might not be for you, because you have to be a self-starter. You can't be a person that has to be micromanaged in order to get things done. I'm not saying it's impossible. Like there might be some people out there who are project managers or program managers and are watching this video like, girl, I do all my projects at the last minute. Great, cool for you, kudos, clap it up. You deserve a cookie. I cannot work against like crunch time, just because of the fact that my role specifically is contingent upon a lot of different things. Like I have clients who are dependent on me to meet certain deadlines. Like I know that every Monday a certain email has to go out to my clients and my participants. If it doesn't go out, everybody gonna be lost in the sauce looking around like, what do we do next? Every Friday there are certain reports that have to be submitted, and if not, people are gonna be looking at me like, okay, so what's going on with your program this week? And it just does not look good. So the number 3 thing that you can do to pivot into project management / program management is to revamp your resume. If you have clicked on any of my other videos related to project management, this should not be a new tip for you, because I feel like I preach this in so many of my videos. But revamping your resume is so important. Actually, I was doing some research today for work, and I found this graphic that was super helpful, and I'll make sure I leave it on the screen for you guys. Okay, so in this graphic that I found, basically what they did was they broke down exactly how you can word your resume to fit and hopefully make you stand out in any field, not just project management or program management, but really just any field in general. And so the acronym that I kind of came up with from this graphic is ATM. So action, verb, task or project, and metric or result. So one of my favorite pieces of advice is to always be data driven. So if you just say something like answer phones on a daily basis, that's not really data driven. You're not really telling me a whole lot about what you did. You're not really telling me about what type of phone calls you took. You're not telling me who the calls were from, how many you had per day. But you want to be very specific. Always include numbers in your resume. As a project manager or a program manager, don't just tell me what you did, but talk about the result of what you did. Talk about the impact. Don't be shy. When it comes to resumes, that's your time to really shine. Like, a lot of times people assume that like, oh, well, I didn't work with numbers, so I can't make my resume data driven. That is not true. So I also make sure that I link maybe one or two helpful like resume resources below. Like if you're a person where you know you want to revamp your resume, but you don't really know how to word it, I'll try to leave some helpful resources so that you guys can get an idea of maybe what a project manager's resume or a program manager's resume might look like. So this next point is actually one of my favorites because I feel like this is really me like busting a myth. If y'all have not heard it already, I'm sure I've said it in my comments before. I'm pretty sure I may have said it in a video or two before. Remove the idea that PM is technical. It does not have to be a technical role. I do not work in a tech space, y'all. So many other people who I know do not work in tech spaces and they are program managers, they are project managers. I think that maybe it's a tad more popular in those areas, but it's not like you have to have technical experience to be a project manager. You do not have to have technical experience. I got a social work degree at the master's level. I have my bachelor's degree in psychology, okay? And I'm a program manager and I absolutely love what I do, and I am managing projects, which is exactly what I wanted to do. So I want you guys to get that myth out of your head because I think a lot of times people shy away from trying to apply for project management jobs because they feel like, well, I don't have no tech experience. And it's like, you don't need no tech experience. Like, you literally do not need it. I promise you. If anybody told you that, I'm sorry, they lying. Or maybe they just trying to get you to sign up for one of their courses or something like that. But you do not need technical experience. Again, going back to point number 3, you really just have to know how to word your resume, and you have to really be able to explain to them how you have managed projects or managed different tasks at your previous job. A lot of times when it comes to like interviewing and stuff like that, and they ask you questions like, so what projects have you managed? You know, I know that the word project might be kind of misleading because you might be thinking in your head like, well, I've never done an actual project, but anything can be a project. And I don't mean go to your resume and like lie and make up stuff, but it really just depends on exactly how you word it, you know? And so I think a lot of times people, again, kind of shy away from the idea of being a project manager or feeling like they don't qualify, when it's like, you probably do. And I can guarantee you that you've done some form of project management in your previous roles. More than anything, project management is heavily based on transferable skills. Like, that's the #1 tip that I think that I saw a lot of when I was doing research before I got the position that I have, before I knew that I wanted to go into a project management role or a program management role. That was one of the biggest things that I saw, is that you do not have to have technical experience, but you do have to have transferable skills. And most of us have transferable skills. I don't care if you was a cashier, if you were a social worker, if you were a healthcare professional. If you have worked in the past, you have some sort of transferable skill that you can use into this new job title of project management, program management, or anything like that. So number 5, and this is going to be a little bit opposite of my last point, but earn a certification. Earn a certification or really take a training. And the reason that I say this is because I think it's super important that you educate yourself on the job title that you're going to be going into. Like, you can earn a certification in what it means in like people management or something like that. You can earn a certification in program management. And a lot of times people automatically assume that you have to go and find this really special course and pay $500 or $600. But to be honest, you can literally take shorter courses on places like LinkedIn. I believe Google also offers like certain certifications for free. Like, if you're unemployed especially, I know Google will like pretty much let you get one of their certifications for free if you apply for the program that will allow you to literally take it for free. Like, ain't nobody gonna really tell you that, but Google will literally let you earn one of their certs for free, especially if you're unemployed and you do not have an income. There are plenty of like shorter educational trainings and courses that you can take that are free that will help you further understand project management, help you understand program management, help you understand emotional intelligence, right? And what it means to have emotional intelligence on the job. All of these things are super important. So getting my Scrum Master cert, that was one of my motivations certifications when I wanted to get into project management, but I also had other things that I was doing at the same time. Watching videos on how to revamp my resume, watching different training videos on how to properly upgrade my LinkedIn and different things like that. So certifications can be a lot more than just a technical skill. Certifications can also teach you a lot about different soft skills, having empathy, knowing how to watch your tone when you're speaking to other people in a mutual work setting and things like that. So learning and building and getting different certifications related to your soft skills and your technical skills, I think is super important, especially when it comes to pivoting into project management. So what I mean on the technical side of getting a certification, getting things like your PMP, getting things like your CAPM, which is CAPM, getting like your Scrum certification, those are just 3 examples of probably one of the more common certifications. It's important to get things like that because that will teach you the foundation of what it is that you want to do in your everyday role. Currently, I am taking the Google PM course. I'm not gonna lie, I'm not as consistent as I need to be, so it's probably gonna be a while before I get my certification. But one of the things that I can say is that Google has done a very great job at breaking down exactly what a project manager is, what they do every day, types of project managers, and on and on. So taking technical trainings, I think, is something that is super important because it helps lay that foundation and it gives you that knowledge base of like, okay, what exactly am I going to be doing, right? If you have, you know, a good resume and you've revised your resume and it sounds like it's good, it's data driven, let's say that you listen to all the other points that I've listed, right? But if you don't have somewhat of a knowledge base and if you don't know anything about what you're doing, you're probably not going to excel as much as you possibly could if you were to take certain courses and certain training. So I think it's super important to get both a technical certification and also get some trainings and certifications under your belt that are related to soft skills. And last but not least, I would say make sure that you are truly ready to pivot into project management. You don't want to job hop. You don't want to just go from area to area, field to field, thing to thing, and you're just still feeling like, oh my God, I tried this, I'm still not fulfilled. I tried that, it's still boring to me. Because then my question to you is going to be, is it the job or is it you? Which one is it? That was one thing that I also had to even ask myself. Like prior to getting into the role that I have now, I'm like, okay, you know, it seemed like every position that I was getting in my past roles, I'm like, okay, after a year, I noticed there was a pattern. After about a year, I found myself getting really, really bored of certain jobs. What is the reason that I actually, like going back to point number 1, what is the reason that I actually want to pivot? Is it that I feel like I'm not using my leadership skills or I'm not using all of my skill set? Maybe you're working for a company where you feel like they don't really believe in you like you believe in you, and so you really just want to take that chance on yourself and get something different and do something different. Would you truly feel satisfied once you get into this role? Leaving my previous roles where I was doing like traditional social work type of roles was really the best decision that I could have made for myself as a professional, because I found that, you know, after maybe 6 months being at a certain job, I noticed that I was always getting bored very quickly, and I always felt like I was only applying for those jobs because they were like safe. They didn't challenge me too much, and I knew that I would for sure have a job, because nobody wants to be out here without a job, right? Like the average person has to work to be able to provide for themselves. You know, I felt like I would apply for certain roles because it felt comfortable, but deep down it's like once I got to that 3-month mark, 6-month mark, I'm like, I ain't feeling this no more. Like I'm not really feeling it. And so I try not to have any regret, but if I could have done anything different in my career path, it would have been to really go after what I wanted a lot sooner. With my last job prior to the one that I have now, I was always playing it safe. You know, like I was always playing it safe by like more so doing like the entry level stuff, but like I never really felt like I had a challenge. And you know, and that's no like shade or nothing personal against like my previous jobs or whatever, but you know, I just kind of felt like, you know, if I don't take a chance on myself, nobody's gonna take a chance on me. So I was very scared. I was very nervous when it came to like pivoting into my new role of program management and doing project management. I was very nervous, but at the same time, I just knew what I no longer wanted to do. And once you understand that, it's like limitless at that point, because you literally feel feel like, okay, once you have that confidence, you know for a fact that everything else is gonna fall into place. But another benefit, honestly, of taking a risk is that I'm making more money than I have ever made in any other position. So this is your sign to take that chance, sis. Or bro, oh my God, I keep doing that. But that is gonna be the end of this video for today. If you did learn something, let me know in the comment section. Or if there's something that you would love to share with other people in the comments. I genuinely love filming project management content for y'all. So just let me know what y'all wanna see. And that's gonna be the end of this video. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up, comment down below, and do not forget to subscribe. But like I always say, only subscribe if you feel in the vibe. And I will see you guys in my next video.